You want to switch when you get done.
Oh. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Hopefully everybody's hearing us. Taking the journey
Together.
together today's show. Not feeling too well, kind of a little bit under the air, under the weather, got a little bit of vertigo going on, but we are here right now. We're glad to see those who have showed up. Sharon, why don't you take over a little bit as I try to get some things straightened out on some of our other posts. I guess in Facebook, so they know that we're here. They can listen to our show. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Today is, well, there's a lot going on talking about caring. A lot of people need some caring right now. This is our topic today is still, are you caring or are you evasive? And understanding how to deal with or handle your issues and how you treat the people that you are in relationship with. And caring after what this has been one of those weeks following another week that has been just um, chocked full of emotion and tragedy, and we're all trying to deal with it, and no
Mm-hmm.
matter where we are. And so, one of the things that we really need to do is take inventory right now of how we're dealing with the people that we consider ourselves loving, and
Yes.
are we really loving to our partners? And so, as we look at that and we think about that, we have to take into consideration that this is probably not the time to be evasive, even if that is how you usually are, because you need to be aware of what the other person needs, the person that you're with. So, anyway, with that said, I am going to go right into what our motto
Motto.
is. It's hard for me to call it a motto. It just feels like something else,
Or it's a vision.
and I
It's like
can't put
a
my.
vision. Remember, someone
Okay,
said that you guys are doing a mission, um, and you are to think about your mission. It is a mission, and instead call it a vision.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm going with the vision statement.
Mm-hmm.
The vision statement is for taking the journey together is we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother, father, sister, brother, anybody. It doesn't even matter what Jesus says. We are going to relate. But in taking the journey together, we like to teach people and instill in them the idea of relating in a balanced way. And
Mm-hmm.
what we mean by a balanced way is you start off a relationship with friendship and you build that strong foundation of friendship. And when that friendship grows into a lovership, you continue with that, making sure that you keep that strong foundation of friendship going. And from that point on, when you decide to go into um, a committed relationship, you are not
Mm-hmm.
only going into that committed relationship with your friend, but you're also going into that committed relationship with your lover,
Yes.
all rolled in one person. and that will have you in a balanced or healthy or thriving relationship.
Exactly, exactly. So make sure you go share to your friends, share to your neighbors, and share to that one that you love and care about today. Again, I'm a little down in the weather. I know Sharon is looking so good today, bright and shiny. Yet at the same time, we know some people in New York, some people in Texas who are not feeling bright and shiny today. They've lost loved ones, grandparents, to children too. The tragedy that has happened has it's putting a lot of stress, a lot of pressure on relationships, those
Hmm.
relationships,
Yes.
and you can imagine what they're going through right now. And if you do, you probably didn't want to. In fact, when you think about it, you really don't want to imagine what they're going through.
No, no,
Yeah.
that's definitely one of the hard things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but you know, if we practice and learn how to love um, our partners the right way through the easy times, then we are prepared for the tough times, we hope.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is when things seem to be good, that's when you get the practice in. That's when you figure out what they need and how to handle it and how to deal with them. And sometimes when you find yourself going on kind of like this, you realize that you speak and you don't necessarily know if what you're speaking is the thing that people are grasping. You know what you're trying to say, but you're not sure that they're grasping it because of the heaviness
Mm-hmm.
of the subject. But one thing I do know is we have got to learn how to treat each other, especially in relationship.
I'm wondering on that note, is grieving a part of a relationship?
It
I mean,
is.
we're talking about between being evasive and at the same time being caring. Is grieving part of a relationship, or do some people feel that if you grieve, you're avoiding the subject by having tears, feeling sorry for yourself, or basically feeling that there's just pain going on, and you're not looking at this situation in a positive way or a better way, or a way that pretty much just doesn't pay attention because you got to go on life. What do you think about that?
I think grieving is a part of it. And the way I when I say that, what I mean is if you are grieving, I can't just turn away from it and pretend it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be there caring and consoling you and allowing you to grieve and work through that process of dealing with what you have lost, what
Mm-hmm.
has been taken away from you, what is no longer a part of your day-to-day reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I'm not there for you, then I'm not treating you in a loving manner.
Yes.
And I don't have to understand why you're grieving. I just
Mm-hmm.
have to understand that you are,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and be there for you. When the time comes for you to try to make me understand or help me understand,
Mm-hmm.
then you will do that. But in the meantime, I don't need to ask questions. I just need to be there for you.
Mm, okay. I wondered how many they're talking about grief counselors that came to both of those areas and what kind of grief counseling they're given to them. I mean, because we talk about relationships in a way that we're looking for healthy and balanced relationships, and we're talking about this time caring and evasiveness. What happens when you get in a relationship where your spouse is hurt, your spouse is let's say have a heart attack, or they're disabled in such a way where you don't have that kind of what we call positive energy, meaning they'll be able to relate to you, they'll be able to walk okay,
Hmm.
they'll be able to do things they used to do. So you look at it as being, positive and hopefully caring. What happens when they do get in those positions where they can't do it before? Then
Anymore.
anymore. So do we look at it as them being evasive, that they don't want to want to deal with you, or you don't want to deal with them? I mean, how do we deal during those particular times? Is care and compassion something that we have any more left being presented, especially in this country with such a divisiveness that's going on? I mean, is there any care or empathy that even bleeds down or trickles down? I'm gonna use a trickle
Hmm.
down theory, trickle down even in our relationships at all.
I think if there's some there in the first place, it does trickle down.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, unfortunately, pretend all the way through, and as they are pretending through
Mm-hmm.
it, um, when the hard times come, that's when you find out what's really going on, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of those reasons why I was saying that you need to um, practice now when things are good
Mm-hmm.
to um, be able to know where you are and where you stand
Mm-hmm.
when in case those tough times do come,
Mm-hmm.
you know um and one of those things, if you love that person
Mm-hmm.
and they can't give you back what they have been giving you all along, or what you've wanted all along,
Mm-hmm.
um the thing of it is, you still have to meet them where they are. If you love them, you're not going to be evasive to their needs. You're going to be caring to their needs.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I learned through dealing with dementia with my mother.
Uh-huh.
You meet them where they are, and
Yes.
you give them the love that you have for them, and give them enough of that love to sustain them and you.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. We got some people today. Here's somebody. Hey, what's a product?
Proud or too crazy?
Thank you very much for mentioning. It's a person that cares from
Yes.
that end, and I'm hoping to feel better too. We don't know really what it is. I get the vertical once in a while, and just today was pretty bad from that end. Felt like I was getting ready to
Suddenly.
fall out suddenly, so I
Yes.
really don't know what's going on. But thank you very much, and good to see that you're listening to our show. Who is this?
Mr. Ellis.
Oh, I said he can't stand up with her. Yes, that has happened once in a while to me.
Mhm.
I had to have the queen next to me drive us from the grocery store because I couldn't even drive it. I usually am the driver for.
Yeah.
I couldn't even drive because it was just that I felt that dizzy going on. So we're taking some vertigo pills because this happened once in a while. We don't know exactly what it is, but thank you for all your care and your concern. Again, I mean, it's nothing compared to the tragedy that happened in New York or
Texas.
Texas. Just nothing compared to it. But I appreciate your care and concern. Who got somebody else? Ah, Bernard Brown. Hello, family. Hello, Mr. Bernard. Glad to see you here. I think Bernard last time said there's some things that we said to him that really touched him, if I remember,
Hmm.
and said something he was bringing home. And it's something we said is a nugget, a gold nugget to take home. And we always kind of look at the principle called Sankofa, where it's okay to go back and look at those things that happened in your life and find that gold nugget or something you can learn from it and bring it forward to the future. And hopefully that's what we also did for him too
Find
at
the
the same
positive.
time. Exactly, exactly. So we're talking about, of course, evasiveness in connection to caring. Where
Yes.
did we leave off last time? Do you remember?
We left off with gaslighting.
Oh wow!
Yes, gaslighting.
Before we go on, we want to ask the question: how many people here know what gaslighting is when it comes to in a relationship? Do you know what gaslighting is when it comes to relationship? Type us what you feel and what you think gaslighting is in a relationship. That is, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are when it comes to gaslighting. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And one of
I don't
the
know what that is.
that
Mm-hmm.
bear with us with the sound. For whatever reason, there's something that always wants to be a part of our conversation,
Exactly.
and it's in a language that we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, but bear with us with that um, noise if it decides to come through.
Mm-hmm.
But gaslighting.
Yes.
Um, Before we do that, I want to just kind of make sure that everybody is up to date. You can also go back to some of our other um, topics, some of our other shows, and get caught up on what you have missed. But before we do that, one of the things that we forgot or we overlooked
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that we have hot buttons. Whoops. And our hot buttons are for, if I can get it straight here, I've got a glare on it. Our
Mm-hmm.
hot buttons are to remind people that in a relationship, you're to be hot, but
Mm-hmm.
this hot is honest, open, and transparent. And the more honest, open, and transparent that you are, the better your relationship will be and the more building that can happen. And so we have these hot buttons, and we sell them for $5 to support ATR. So you can get your hot button, just like the ones that we are
Mm-hmm.
wearing. Get your hot button by going to TTJT at takingthejourney-together.com. That's TTJT at takingthejourney-together.com. And let us know that you would like to have your hot button. And when we get that information, we'll let you know what you need to do to your next step to go about getting your hot button. So,
What's a hot button? And when they get the hot button, what can you use it for, Sharon?
well, one thing you can use it for is to remind you and your partner that you need to be hot. You also, it can be a conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
Find out if you're in a relationship or in a new relationship with someone, you can, use that as a conversation starter, letting them know that you're interested in being in a hot relationship and what that is, and find out, what they know about it or how they feel about it, or if they're willing to do what it takes to become more honest, open, and transparent. Because we do know that in the early stages of relationships, sometimes, as you say often, we bring our best ambassador,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not necessarily open, honest, open, and transparent in the first in the beginnings of the relationship. So there's several things that you can use it for. It's also a promotional to let people know that there is a show called Taking the Journey Together that deals with relationships, and we're very interested in helping people move their relationships to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So those are many of the things that we can do.
Exactly, exactly. So let's look at some of the things that we're talking about now, that we are and can be doing in the caring side
Hmm.
of that relationship. We already talked about one of the evasive side we're talking
Yes.
about, so we can stop evading in our relationship and use too many what we call pushback statements and pushback actions and pushback ways that basically are not showing in a relationship that we care, or that in turn we want that other person to care. I think we talked about several things last time: not sharing, saying what you mean,
Yeah.
not showing what you feel. We talked about gaslighting.
No.
Well, we're talking about gaslighting now.
Yeah, we talked about
Exactly.
love
Love
bombing.
bombing. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And so today we're talking about gaslighting. I think a lot of us, I was asking people to tell us what we feel and tell us what you feel, what gaslighting is. Apparently, some of you may not know exactly what that is. And, no answer is stupid whatsoever, so you can never be afraid to ask us questions whatsoever. But we're going to give you some help and hopefully give you some example. Gaslighting in a relationship, yeah, that's right, gaslighting can be used in a relationship to help kind of avoid the
Hmm.
situation or
Yes.
avoid the problem. And remember, when we talk about evasion or avoiding a relationship, we're just basically saying that you are being emotionally what?
Uh, Absent.
Yep, emotionally
Yeah.
absent.
Yes.
That's basically what it is, or emotionally unavailable.
Hmm.
You're just
Yeah.
not showing your emotions. And we're not talking about the anger emotions that we show a lot.
Or the
Um,
constant crying and, you know, uh, um, out of control emotion type of thing.
yeah,
That's
the
also
go
a
ahead.
part of it.
Them are
The
the
extremes.
extremes.
Yes.
And of course there's also that emotional unavailability where you don't say anything at
Yeah.
all.
You just shut down.
No feelings at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even know. You
Yeah.
put that poker face on, that game face on,
Hmm.
and you put your hands up. You do that, and
Talk to the wall.
exactly.
Talk
You
to the
know.
hand. I think that's what they've. The saying used to be, "Talk to the hand." It's like I don't want to hear anything that you have to say. That's really kind of rude too. Not
Mm-hmm.
kind of. That is rude. But a lot of that has been going on in relationships,
Exactly.
and there have been other ways in which the same message of "talk to the hand" has been going along, even though people don't say it. You know.
And that this one we're talking about gaslighting, or the evasion itself.
Hmm.
Sometimes people go into that mode and can be in that mode for days.
Uh huh.
There's
Yeah.
some couples I know we have been involved with, they really haven't talked to each other at all in any
Yeah.
depth for months, sometimes I heard some years.
And depending on the reason for the gaslighting,
Mm-hmm.
um, that may be what is survival mode for one person.
Yes,
Whoever
exactly.
is doing the gaslighting, they
Mm-hmm.
may need it to go on for a long
Mm-hmm.
time
Mm-hmm.
in order for them to hang on in the relationship, which is not a good thing.
No. So gaslighting. If you notice your partner, what?
Persistently and blatantly lying to you
Mm-hmm.
and then making you think that something is wrong with you, question your own perception of how you see things and how things are going down,
Mm-hmm.
then you're probably being gaslit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of what look at it now in politics. How many times they talk about in politics how certain politicians. By the way, we just went through a lot of voting right now,
Yes.
and in turn, a lot of politicking was going on in this country. And hope you went out and voted too. It's very important to do that. Give you a chance to still part of the system and speak what you feel, what you think. Hopefully, have a representative that's going to represent what you feel, and then from
Yeah.
there make sure you go and lobby them,
Hmm.
call them, talk to them, make sure they follow through and follow up what you put them in the
Right.
office to do. In a relationship, it's almost kind of like the same thing. You married them, you got connected to them, they came up with a certain ambassador way how they treated you, and then you may run into this problem where they're being evasive as time goes by. They're really not connected to you. We're not relating to you, and you'll get many times that
Hmm.
when you're trying to push the avenue of trying to get them to be open to you and talk to you, they may push the avenue of gaslighting,
Yes.
of give the perception in this case, just as over general and get
Hmm.
specific, that you are always trying to get into my business because of the fact that you think you should know me.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they just said a gaslighting statement, okay,
Hmm.
because it's a blatant lie. How is that a lie? Well, in a relationship, a
You
healthy relationship,
you're
it,
supposed to know each other.
it is
Yeah.
about getting to know each other. And so when someone says that, they're basically lying to you from the standpoint of the basic more function of what a relationship is all
Hmm.
about, and trying to make you feel guilty over it, as we just talked about.
Right.
And then of course that guilt will make you mad. You're like, well, hold on, I thought I was in this relationship where we're supposed to get to know each other,
Hmm.
and now you're telling me and trying to make me feel guilt by the fact that you think I'm being nosy, and
And
it's none of my
yeah,
business.
and that's not what I'm here for. Well, what am I here for?
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
and because if I don't know you, I can't be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
but if you're feeling that way, why don't you want me to be there for you? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I think in a lot of relationships that happens because they come in with the I think it's and it's just me, and I know you feel the same way too. The old kind of I think it's obsolete way of relating, which is we can be friends, we can be lovers, we can be lovers and friends, but we can't be that in a relationship. And
Hmm.
most of the time, it's based on opposites attract each other.
Right.
So if it's the opposite in that relationship, it's quite naturally if you feel opposite. Well, that means I'm not really connected to you.
Hmm. Yeah.
If there's something that's about me that I know about me, since you're opposite from me, it's none of your business
Right.
for you to get to know about it. Or if you push the issue, well, who are you to think you should be pushing the
Hmm.
issue? From then, and those kind of statements. There's probably some other statements you could think of how that could make you feel guilty, make you feel uncomfortable, and if that partner, persistently and blatantly says that over a period
Hmm.
of time, you definitely are going to kind of feel in so many words, well, what did I do wrong?
Exactly.
I mean, what am I here for?
And more than that, you'll start doubting yourself and questioning yourself. But to a great extent, gaslighting is about control. Because it's all about making the other person feel insecure in the relationship while also trusting uh, the other person over yourself. And so that would be a form of control.
We have somebody new that came up, Renee. Hello, Renee Sutton Camper. She said, such a good timely topic. Maybe it's something she's lived to before or going through right now. And I think a lot of us in a lot of our relationships, we are in a lot of relationships where there's like certain areas in that relationship is closet off, locked off,
Hmm.
where we just basically can't get involved with, or they don't want us involved with, or could be vice versa. Excuse me, where we have that belief system that
Right.
no, we don't connect like that,
Right.
and you'll use gaslighting statements
Mm-hmm.
like, it's none of your business, or who are you, or you're not my mama,
Yeah.
you're not my
Yeah.
daddy, you ain't
Exactly.
my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll use gaslighting statements like that
Yeah.
that
You don't need
align.
to know everything that I do,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's like, okay, so why is that the case, and why do you feel
Uh,
so strongly
Hello, Mr.
about that?
Kelly. Glad to see you back, Mike. To see that you're listening to it. Hopefully, that we're saying some things to help you in your relationship too. At the same time, I'm going on. So these gaslighting statements, which are part of the avoiding thing, that it's really just all about trying to make you feel insecure in your
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
Yes.
It's trying to make you feel insecure in your relationship, in that insecure, while also trusting them over
You.
yourself.
Yeah. It,
Yeah,
it keeps you off balance.
yeah,
Keeps you off balance.
yeah. I,
Yeah.
I, I say it's almost like many times they make you like a mule or a horse, where they put a carrot in front of you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you're always just going off the carrot. Hopefully, one day you
Mm-hmm.
get that carrot. We'll
Yeah.
both get connected,
Yeah.
and or you get to connect when you know them, and and it never happens. But they
Exactly.
keep on riding and driving you
Mm-hmm.
forward and making you feel that the perception that they really care about you, they really love you, and inside you feel like, man, I feel insecure, but I
Yeah.
don't feel good about this.
And in gaslighting, you get to the point where you're not even sure that it's really a carrot
Mm-hmm.
that's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they could change and say, "Oh no, that's not a carrot. That's a tomato. Go for the tomato."
Mm-hmm.
And you would be like, "Okay," because you're so off balance that you don't know what to think.
Yes, yes, yes. Or in that what they call flip the script, they'll get the perception or say to you, no, that's in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you just made up.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a guilt trip that you're feeling and it's really not you.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation,
Transference.
exactly, that conversation, when you confront them about, that wrongdoing or the blatant lie they seem
Mm-hmm.
to tell, they somehow will change the conversation in such a way where you end up apologizing to
Exactly.
them. You're like,
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I guess I should never said that to
Yeah.
you. And now that I spoke it in such a assertive or angry way because I'm feeling bad about it,
Mm-hmm.
how you first did this gaslighting, they turn it around and were making it seem like, oh no, that was really you all around. That's your guilt trip.
Yeah.
That's what's all in your mind. And really it's not. And you many times will, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't make you. I'm sorry I made you feel this way. Or instead of, it should have been, no, I'm sorry that allowed you to make me feel this
Yeah.
way
Exactly.
from
Exactly.
that particular. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff has everything to do in the area of people avoiding in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a lot of
Or
times
hiding.
hiding. A lot of
Yeah.
times when people think about evading or avoiding in a relationship, they think that someone just doesn't say nothing at all,
Right.
and they just stand there and don't say anything. And
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
they could be speaking, they could
Yeah.
be talking.
Manipulating the situation.
Exactly, and making you feel guilty
Yeah.
from that end. Okay, well,
Yeah.
talking about that, and we see some people. Make sure if you got any comments or any past experience that you had before, make sure that you bring it up. We'd be glad to say that. I'll be honest with you, and I'm bless her soul. I love her dearly, no doubt about it. But my mom did a lot of gaslighting. I'm serious. She did a lot of gaslighting from that standpoint. If you are a better son, you should do this. Or if you in turn would have did better at school. I mean, she did a lot of
Yeah.
gaslighting and made me feel guilty and made me feel bad. And I would turn around and apologize to her because she was mama.
Yeah.
She was mom
Exactly. Yeah.
from that end. So some of us out there know how sometimes our moms would just know how to work our nerves or
Mm-hmm.
work our emotions and our
Yes.
psyche
Yes.
and turn things around to make us feel sorry for them for something that they did.
Exactly.
You deserve that.
Yeah.
And we go, oh,
And
okay.
some parents would not say I'm sorry. They
Mhm.
would say, "Oh, well, when you get ready to do it, now you'll think about what the consequences are."
Exactly.
It's like,
You're like,
but I wasn't
what?
thinking about doing it in the first place. So where did that
Exactly.
come from?
Exactly. And sometimes you see some parents that will guilt their kid.
Mhm.
No. The kids will guilt them,
Yeah.
especially when they play the two parents off of one another.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see that a lot of time. Well, if you really love me as my mom or my
Yeah.
dad, then you'll really let me do this.
Or they'll come. But Dad said so.
Exactly.
So why are you saying no?
Mm-hmm.
Dad loves me. It's like, okay, go to your room. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, they love to do that. See, but I could get two cookies, and but now you say I can't have any cookies. It's a cookie. You're not having any. Get over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're so mean. So,
Exactly, that motivation. Hey, let's real quickly talk about where we're at other places too. I'm gonna put something up. Where are
okay.
we at right there, other place?
Well, on Saturday mornings
Mm-hmm.
at 9 o'clock, we're at WRUU
Mm-hmm.
Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can go online to WRUU and you can listen to the Taking the Journey Together show there. And we have different topics on WRUU. We are talking about bridge statements at this time.
Yeah. So
And
if you want to go back there, because some of you
mhm,
have heard about the bridge statements that we talked about here on ATR,
yes.
but we always talking about it in different angles.
Hmm.
A lot more expansion is probably a better word.
Yeah.
When you hear it on the radio with us, so if you go to the radio and hear or online
Hmm.
and hear us talk about um, bridge
Bridge
statements,
statements.
you'll hear it in another expanded way,
Hmm.
just because there's so many different experiences that we have
Yeah.
in relationships. You can't coin them all, how we relate to
Yeah.
one another, but certainly the kind of techniques that we present can help you out
Mhm.
in those different areas. And so we'll come up with different areas. We're on the radio, and then come up with a different kind of bridge statement that would definitely help you out, which is important in a relationship, because we know for sure relationships, people are not perfect. We don't get along all the time. We're going to have conflicts. We're going to have times when we disagree, hopefully less time than others. But if we do, because that's just part of life, then bridge statements help us, get past those problems.
I just got a simile for
Mm-hmm.
um, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships are like a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
There are many facets to it.
Yes. Yes.
So, we can see all different facets to dealing with it. So even though we do it one way here, we can always go back and do it another way
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere.
Or it turns and it reflects a lot of different. I'm thinking about
Yes.
the diamond in what is it? Diamond in the sun.
Diamond in the rough. Or
No, I
oh
was thinking
no,
about that one song. What's her name made? Diamond in the Sun.
I have no idea.
I don't know. She's
I don't
one of the singers. Beyonce or something
know.
sung a song called Diamond in the
It
Sun.
wasn't Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
It was
Well,
before Beyonce.
it
It
was
was a
somebody.
nice song.
But
I know the one you're talking about, and I can't even think about it. I hear it in my head, and I can't get the words together.
where's another place too?
Um, well, the other place is if you need relationship coaching, we're available.
Mm-hmm. You can go to Taking the Journey, as you can see on
Hmm.
our website, or you can go to our email address. Should be coming up here real soon. If not, Sharon, tell them what our email
Our
address is.
email address is ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com.
Is right there at the bottom. You got some things in your relationship that you have a purpose and a goal you want to get to. We as coaches can help you get there, just as we're talking about today. Maybe you want to be more caring in your relationship and you want some more techniques of how to be more caring in your relationship. We certainly help you out on getting you to that path, getting you to that goal. Maybe you need to, work with more bridge statements. And so, we can help you out with bridge statements that are specifically tailored to your life and what you need to basically add and expand to your relationship. We love to be able to do it. Most of the time, we want to work with couples. It's important if they're, since this is a couple thing, to do it with both of you two there, not just one. It don't work too well
No,
with just one, especially when we're talking about thriving relationships, healthy
exactly.
relationships. So make sure you get a hold of us so we can set some appointment up, whether it's live stream or and turn face to face since the COVID thing is gone. And we'll be glad to kind of work with you so you can
Mhm.
move closer to your goals, move closer to having that more thriving and healthy relationship.
Yes. So, and I think that's it for that part. So now we
Mm-hmm.
can move back into how not to be evasive and what are some of the ways in which we do show ourselves as being evasive. And one of them, the next one would be stonewalling.
Stonewalling.
Oh
Oh man,
my
stone. I
goodness.
think out of all of the manipulative, toxic, evasive, and we only did 5 of them, evasive ways that make it difficult on the spot to overcome in relationship, and can be subtle or unconscious or overt or calculating. I think this one is kind of like the last what did it say biblical about them horses? I forgot what
I
it
cannot
called.
even begin to tell you.
I can't think of it. I'd say this is the strongest apocalyptic. How's that
Oh,
pronounced?
the five fifth horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, I think the
Yes,
stonewalling is the worst one of them all when it comes to
yes,
relationship. To stonewall. I know
yes.
some people that feel, and at the beginning I used to talk to you about it,
Mm-hmm.
that feel that if I see no evil, hear no evil, and this is the last one, and I speak no evil, then it's okay in a relationship. Thinking that if I don't communicate or say anything bad, then I am the okay person. I'm the whole healthy person in the relationship.
Yeah,
That is farthest from the
it
truth.
is.
When you don't say anything, you've already said something
You've
in the
said a
relationship.
lot.
Yes.
You've said more than you have any idea that you've spoken. Your silence says so much. You know when because the reason the silence says so much is because it gives the other person the opportunity to fill in the blanks on their own, and not all the time are the blanks filled in properly, or are they filled in with positivity,
Mm-hmm.
because at that point you're making them feel uncomfortable, and so they feel that that uncomfortableness is coming from you, and therefore the blanks that they're filling in is what they perceive as your uncomfortable as your negativity that's coming towards them.
Exactly. Essentially, that kind of silent treatment, stonewalling, is when someone just really refuses to engage with you
Mm-hmm.
and just openly ignores you.
Yes.
You can imagine right now with the shootings that happen, especially, and it may not just especially been with them in Texas. Could you imagine in that time right now, many partners in that relationship, someone is stonewalling.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's so hurt that their child was killed,
Yeah.
so moved emotionally, they can't even handle it. That child was there in the morning. They saw, they played with him, and then they got that call, and that call said, they're here no more. As they waited and waited and waited, you can imagine what the feeling was. And I'm not going to be stereotypical, but I guess I could assume it might have been a lot of the mothers. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
mothers probably just shut down and
Yes.
could not speak and could not talk,
Mm-hmm.
and they just stonewalled. Could you imagine in that relationship what's
Yes.
going on right now? And the folks don't think when we're saying this that evasiveness is during that time is a sin unto death, but know this, it is still evasiveness.
Mm-hmm.
It is still
Yes.
someone who's stonewalling. Could be a very good reason, and it would be a good reason of not being able to handle your grief,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still stonewalling. That's a tough time in a relationship. And I would say, and I know you probably agree, many relationships with from death of children, death of parents, some of them did not make it through that.
Right.
They did
Right.
not stay a relationship after that.
Right. And sometimes it's just one of those things where sometimes that is the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're stonewalling, you're turning your back on the relationship, any hope that the relationship has, if it is in a tenuous situation in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So to keep it from getting there, you've got to watch these evasive maneuvers that creep up in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or
it's
you not do those
oh
evasive
yeah,
maneuvers in that
exactly,
relationship,
exactly. And when I say
and you
watch,
be aware
yeah,
of maybe you are doing some of those
yeah.
I'm not saying you,
No, no, I
but I'm saying
understand.
maybe in your relationship you are the one doing evasive maneuvers
Right,
in that relationship for
right.
a lot of reasons. And now understanding now as we
Hmm.
talk, that's not showing and not presenting the energy of care in that
Yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
It's just really not doing that
And
time.
when I say check the
Mm-hmm.
evasive maneuvers that are happening in the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, you need to check yourself first before you start pointing fingers at the other person,
Yes.
because you may be the catalyst for the evasiveness that's happening on both sides. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so you may have done something to, maybe you were doing gaslighting
Gaslighting.
at some point in time, and that triggered the other person to say, to shut down and not say what they're feeling about your
Mm-hmm.
gaslighting because they're uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
so it can be a snowball effect. So you need to check yourself to see if you're a part of that evasion equation, which I did not mean to make that rhyme like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it is an equation when
Mm-hmm.
you're dealing with two people, two individuals.
I think that during these tragic times, during these times of so much polarization going
Hmm.
on, and it looks like it's not going to get better, if we don't, you know, pull that sanctuary in our own relationships, we don't take the rights that we have and empowerment in our own relationships to say that we're going to make it, we're going to go through this, we're going to flourish. We're going to have harvest. We're going to be successful, whatever you may want to call it in
Hmm.
life, because of what we two agree with and how we relate to our families in a healthy, striving way.
Right.
The environment around right now doesn't look like it's going to be too successful for you.
No.
It really doesn't. It's more of a me generation, all about me, take sides, whatever that means
Hmm.
may be. And that me goes even to the core of relationships where you're in a relationship and one person say, no, I'm all about me in this relationship
Exactly.
and I'm going to get mine before you get yours.
Yes. I'm
And
gonna get mine, and if you get yours, good luck to you. You
exactly,
you better do the same thing. Look out for
exactly.
yourself. It's all about number one.
So we're just saying that we've got to look at our own our relationships and be serious about it, and start caring in our relationships,
Hmm.
and understanding that the way to move to a healthy and thriving relationship has everything to do with that basis. Are you going to build your relationship on friendship? Are
Yes.
you going to use that hot
And
principle,
the
honest,
importance
open,
of these.
exactly, and transparency? It don't mean that you're going to get along all the time. Sharon and I don't get along all the time. We have our times because of outside life, and we you don't have children right now around us every day, so we have those struggles. But yet we know that we are both a work in progress, and that this is a journey, and we try to make this journey adventurous journey, using these principles to make it an adventurous journey. If you're going to do this relationship, some people say game, and you want to be good in the game. I used to hear some
Yeah.
guys say all the time. If you're going to take this relationship thing seriously, why don't you want to pick up these principles, and hopefully you may pick up these principles
Hmm.
to make your relationship in the long run something that is a venture you're going to always remember, you're going to be passed on for legacies, and in turn, at least while you're here, you get to experience it in a way that you won't forget it, and hopefully in a positive way,
Hmm.
because that's what we're here for, is to experience life. And
Yes.
why would you want to experience life when you're with someone else in a positive way where you two have good memories? You're going to have some
Hmm.
bad ones too.
Yeah.
And some of the memories you move through, well, no doubt
but
about it.
but
Usually
but
some of the
using
stuff we're
but
talking
using
about.
the Sankofa principle,
Mm-hmm.
you look back and you find the good ones, and
Exactly.
that's what keeps propelling you forward.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back and finding the good ones, I have to do this shameless plug.
Mm-hmm.
um has brought us to 9 years as of yesterday.
Oh, yes. The
Yes, yesterday was
anniversary.
our anniversary. And that's not counting the years we were together before,
Mm-hmm.
which all told has been what, 13 years.
Yeah. Happy anniversary to us.
Happy anniversary to us.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We
You know.
would tell us a little about people who may want to listen about them, how we did our marriage thing here uniquely.
We did. We got married in a way that, how when COVID happened, everybody was doing things, online. They were doing Zoom, and they were doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever, StreamYard and all that. Well, this was before StreamYard and Zoom and all, but Skype was there. So we got married here on Tybee Island. It was at sunrise, but we had some family that couldn't get here. My daughter and son and my granddaughter got here. His daughter and son-in-law got here. We had a couple of friends that we had met from here. They came. like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sun coming up
Yes,
on the beach in
exactly,
Tybee.
exactly. We had a gentleman friend who uh, is a saxophone player. He played the saxophone for our wedding, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really nice. But my son's duty at the ceremony was to run the computer. So we had the computer set up out there so that he could. So my sister, brother, and sister-in-law in Nashville could Skype in, and my niece and nephew in New York could Skype in. So had we had long distance people at our ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
as well as those who were here. It turned out to be a really
It was, and the
nice
beautiful thing
thing.
is you made a very beautiful outfit for both of us on your own, since you're such a good seamstress, and it had a kind of like a Egyptian, African, and Asian kind of look to all of it. It was very diversely made. And we enjoyed it. We had a young man that we knew of by the name of Bud.
But
He came on and took pictures because he wanted to be a photographer. I think he went
yes,
on to the Navy to do that. It was a very great experience, and again, a memory that definitely was something for us in our life to
yes,
remember as part of experiencing that together,
mhm,
as friends, of course,
yes,
and two at the same time making that commitment for a long term
mhm,
relationship as partner in the commitment called marriage from that end. It
mhm.
was a very beautiful time. Yeah, it really was.
Yes, and as I finally broke down and told him
Mm-hmm.
uh, yesterday, um, the I chose the day for us to get married, which was the 25th of May,
Mm-hmm.
because it was also my mother's birthday. She passed away in 2008, and I chose that day because he was the best thing that happened to me after my mother passed away. It was just kind of downhill all the way. And then he came into my life, and things just got really, really better. Not great, but better, because it's it's still a process that I'm working through. Um, but I needed to honor his presence in my life and the importance of that, as well as my mother, and it was a perfect opportunity to do that. And so her birthday became the new birthday of our lives together.
Well, I know the fact that you were open as a sister to let the uniqueness of a relationship, the beach in the morning, and then we asked this pastor from Bellevue, I
No,
mean
from
from
Richmond Hill.
Richmond Hill,
Yeah,
Daniel Boyd, and his wife came out and he did
the
the
ceremony.
ceremony
Yeah.
too, and the saxophone player was out there. It was a very unique, and we customized it the way we felt comfortable,
Hmm.
and so
I
it
was
felt very good.
barefoot
Exactly. So
in the sand.
it definitely made me feel good that you felt comfortable enough and honorable enough to say, okay, let's do it this way together, and not do it the traditional way, not doing it any other way that maybe a older mature African American couples would usually do, whether it was jump the broom, which we were going to think about doing, but we didn't. But we did it our way, how we felt was
Yes.
connected to us, customized to us, and that's what taking the journey is all about. That relationship where both you two know that you uniquely came together, and
Hmm.
you are walking and moving in this world in your journey together and connected with one another.
Yeah.
As we talked about the bridge statement that says, because we believe that either God has put us together or the Spirit has put us together, or we have that other statement that says we are on the same team. And that's
Yes.
what our thriving, healthy relationships
Hmm.
all about. That we are as one, we are unity, or the same thing. Muhammad Ali said, "Me,
Me, we.
we."
Yes. And sunrise was something that was always a part of what we did from the time we got here. We
Mm-hmm.
would go down to Tybee and watch the sun come up on Saturday or
Mm-hmm.
Sunday morning, and it was just a thing that we did. So what better time and place than to use Tybee? And we still go down there now, and every time we walk past there, we say, "This is where it happened. This is where
Mm-hmm.
it happened," because it's just a special place for us.
It definitely is. Definitely is. Find those special places out there, folks.
And
Experiences out there. We as beings and humans being connected to in this world at this time, it's about experiencing. I mean, that's what it's about for us to experience. And you want to make sure you have some positive experience, those things that you remember. And so when that time, if you still hopefully have a still good mind, of course, those are going to mention they have a mind that's, well, it's a little different. I'll be honest with you.
But you know what I found even at that?
Mm-hmm.
If the love is there, the love is going to be there through
Exactly.
dementia. And my mother taught me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, so did my mom when she split me up to two different people. But you want to know your life is full of memories,
Yeah.
full of experiences that create memories for you. So make some good memories, the best that you can, the many as you can. Even when they're not always so positive, you can use bridge statements.
Yes.
You can use creative ways of how you can in turn bridge that
Mhm.
situation out, because that's all part of life.
Yes.
And many of us, we are at jobs, we are in different places, whether it's school, whether it's restaurants, whether it's even getting gas, and we run into conflicting situations, and we will automatically feel we got to find some way to negotiate, to communicate with this person just to get over that little problem, to move on.
Yeah.
But many times in a relationship, we'll get so stuck like Chuck, we figure that, hey, we ain't supposed to have no problem. So we just don't know how to get over this, or that it's really supposed to not happen.
Mhm.
And we are evaded. Now, don't do that. Know that your relationship is all about you living together and living with one another and experiencing your relationship with one another and using all the techniques and creative ways to be able to connect.
And if you're transparent about it,
Mm-hmm.
just that part of the hot, you will say, I got to tell you how I'm feeling right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, maybe you don't know that I'm feeling this way. Maybe you don't care, but I got to tell you how I'm feeling. And you just go from there. Because even if you say maybe you don't care, deep down you know that they do, and you're hoping that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But it may be a way for you to just get your feelings. That's how you, if that's honestly how you're feeling at that time,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't hide from it.
No, no.
Because that too is being evasive.
It is, and some people who are doing that on that opposite end of express of a spectrum, since we're talking about, it's the opposite from caring. Those people can be very aggressive in the manipulation. Their pushback is very, very strong. Sometimes it's like that in politics. When you're speaking something you believe in, Phil, someone pushes back hard and very aggressive about it, and their voice will get loud, okay, by raising the voices, and they won't let you get a word in and make you feel intimidated and
shut you down before you can say your side of the story.
Exactly.
It's just all their side of the story, and their perception is the only thing that matters.
And we're basically trying to intimidate you into being compliant to them, and then end up apologizing to them.
Yeah.
And then you feel like, wow, who am I anymore?
Exactly.
Your self-esteem gets lower. Your self-esteem is low. You can't relate long. You can't have good experiences out of that when someone is always feeling that way. Some old guy told me years ago, and when it came to relationships, he said, see if I can remember what he said. He said, so remember, do you want a relationship or do you want to be right? So I'm going to say to you, do you want to be right or do you want a relationship? Do you want a relationship or you want to be right? Because in relationships, your things are not going to always be right. Some things are just going to be off balance. Some things are not going to work out well. Just like we're talking about right now with these shootings, there's going to be a mom or there's going to be a mate who isn't going to be loving and outgoing to you for maybe days and weeks at a time because of that. And you may not feel that same way as they do. What are you going to do? Are you going to shoot principles of, well, you're not being fair, you're not being open, you're, as I heard on on Taking a Journey Together, you're gaslighting or stonewalling, that's the word. Are you going to dare say something like that during that time? You would hope that you wouldn't do that, because then you're wanting to be right in the relationship and you don't want a relationship. That statement that came to me when it was told to me years ago. It let me know that relationships are not perfect whatsoever. And balance is so important. And if it's balanced, it's not going to always be your side. It's not always going to be their side. It's going to have to be a balance because it's all about us in that relationship. And if that's what you want, then you're not always about trying to be right. Sometimes you know you may be right, but you're not going to say anything.
Yes.
You're not
Yes.
going to really bring it up.
Yes. And you just have to, you have to be willing to say, okay, I'm gonna back off, and we'll read this, we'll revisit this some other time, because that may be the thing that will keep you from going down a path that you don't want to go, that neither one of you want to go. But somebody has got to stop and say, okay, in your mind you're saying you're gaslighting and I'm not going to be a part of it, or you're stonewalling and I'm not going to be a part of it. You know, but the only way out of it is to say, okay, I agree. Whatever you say is good. But also, no, we're going to come back to this some other time. You know, because you can't just let it go that way, because what that's going to do is foster. It's going to fester, and it's going to foster more ill feelings.
It builds an anxiety. It kind of blows up like a balloon, or some people say it is like a straw. Where is it called? Straw and a what? A needle in the haystack.
No, straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. And you wonder, why did they blow up on me?
Yes.
Well, they blew up on you because of the fact that you were avoiding the subject. You weren't trying to do
holding it in.
Exactly, trying to make you feel good, trying to make you feel nice, and they didn't see that you being caring.
Right.
They see that you being what? Evasive. Being evasive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we got 6 minutes left.
No, we don't.
Oh, we don't?
No.
Oh, we don't.
We have about 1 minute.
Oh, I forgot. Our engineer will probably not be happy with that. So, yeah, that's right. It's 5:56. We got about 1 minute left.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope you guys enjoyed what we were talking about. For those who also felt that very, sadness because of the two tragic situations, please know you can weep with those who weep. You can cry with those who cry. You can mourn with those who are mourning. I mean, then I know a young fella who had a friend that they've been knowing of, and they just were killed not too long ago, right here in a very unusual way in Savannah. So, that is part of life. That's part of relationships. That's something that you don't want to avoid. Go and take the caring right in life. Thank you. Until again, God bless, Ashe, and good night.
Goodbye.
And where is our guy? He is not around, is he?
Not quite.
Okay.
We're looking for the outro.
I'm going to get, is there an outro to this?
Yes.
Where's that?
Closing video, all shows. Go up, 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 up.
This one?
Yep.
All right. I think I found it. Good night. Have a very good evening. I'm feeling better now, folks. Thank you for your care.
Like this.